Kayla was buzzing with excitement as she prepared for her parents' wedding anniversary. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over everything, and she felt the joy of the day fill her heart. She had spent the entire week planning the surprise party, picking out decorations, and helping to choose the cake flavors. Today was special. Her parents were celebrating 25 years of love and commitment, and Kayla wanted everything to be perfect. As she dressed in her favorite blue dress, she thought about all the happy moments their family had shared over the years. Memories of laughter around the dinner table and cozy movie nights flooded her mind. Kayla wanted to honor those moments by giving them a thoughtful gift, a beautiful photo album filled with pictures from their life together. Finally ready, she double-checked everything before heading out the door. The smell of delicious food wafted through the air as she arrived at her grandparents' house, where the celebration would take place. Family members were already mingling, laughter ringing out as they shared stories about Kayla's parents. As she greeted everyone with hugs and smiles, Kayla felt a swell of happiness knowing they would all be celebrating together. The atmosphere was filled with love and gratitude, making her heart feel light. But as she glanced at her parents' smiling faces, she realized that something was missing the present. Panic set in briefly before determination took over. She needed to get home quickly to retrieve it before the party fully began. As the evening unfolded, Kayla found herself surrounded by the warmth of family and friends, laughter echoing through the room as everyone shared stories about her parents. The decorations sparkled under the twinkling lights, and the delicious aroma of food filled the air, creating a festive atmosphere. Kayla was thrilled to see how happy her parents were, basking in the love that enveloped them. However, as she mingled and enjoyed the celebration, a nagging feeling crept into her mind. It was only when she overheard her mom mention a special moment linked to their photo album that the realization hit her hard. She had forgotten to bring the very gift she had spent so much time putting together. Panic washed over her as she replayed the morning in her head, trying to figure out how she could have overlooked such an important part of the celebration. Her heart raced as she considered how disappointed her parents would be without it. Determined to fix her mistake, Kayla excused herself from the group and made her way to the door. The thought of their smiling faces lighting up at the sight of the photo album drove her forward. She hopped on her bike, pedaling furiously through the cool night air, hoping she could return in time to present it during their special evening. Kayla pedaled furiously down the street, her heart pounding not just from the effort, but also from the weight of disappointment looming over her. The cool night air rushed past her face as she gripped the handlebars tightly, her mind swirling with thoughts of her parents' happiness. She imagined their reaction when they finally saw the photo album, filled with cherished memories from their years together. It was supposed to be a highlight of the evening, and she felt terrible for not bringing it. With every turn of the pedals, flashes of family moments filled her mind, her parents' wedding day, holiday gatherings, and silly family photos taken during vacations. Each memory made her more determined to get home quickly. She rode faster, her hair whipping in the wind as she focused on the road ahead. The streetlights illuminated her path, but her thoughts were elsewhere. She pictured her parents smiling, reminiscing, and maybe even shedding a few happy tears as they flipped through the pages of the album. As she approached her house, Kayla's nerves heightened. Would there be enough time? She pushed herself harder, wishing she could freeze time just long enough to grab the gift and return. She dismounted her bike swiftly, locking it up before rushing inside, her heart racing with both excitement and anxiety about what lay ahead. Arriving home, Kayla noticed her boyfriend's car parked in the driveway, its presence suddenly casting a shadow over her excitement. As she parked her bike and rushed toward the front door, a feeling of unease settled in her stomach. She couldn't shake off the strange sense that something wasn't right, but she brushed it aside, focusing on retrieving the photo album. Pushing open the door, she called out for him, but received no response. A sinking feeling grew as she made her way through the dimly lit hallway. When she reached the living room, her heart dropped. There he was, her boyfriend, entangled with another girl on their couch. They were laughing and leaning into each other in a way that felt all too intimate. The world around Kayla seemed to freeze as her mind struggled to process what she was witnessing. Anger and betrayal surged through her veins like wildfire, drowning out any rational thought. "What is going on?" she screamed, her voice breaking as tears filled her eyes. The laughter stopped abruptly, replaced by shocked silence. Her heart shattered into pieces as she felt waves of hurt crashing over her. Kayla turned away without waiting for an explanation, grief transforming into rage. She stormed back outside, her breath quickening as she fought back tears. Just moments ago, she had been brimming with excitement for her parents' celebration. Now everything felt insurmountable. Desperate for a distraction from the pain, she knew she had to return to the party, where love and joy still thrived, and find solace in familiar faces. As Kayla stepped outside, her heart felt like it was being crushed under the weight of betrayal. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she stood on the doorstep, unable to believe what she had just witnessed. "How could he do this to me?" she screamed into the empty night, her voice echoing down the street. The pain felt overwhelming, and a deep loneliness settled in her chest. Her thoughts raced back to all their moments together, laughs shared, plans made, dreams discussed, and now it all felt shattered in an instant. Kayla collapsed onto the front steps, sobbing uncontrollably as anger and heartbreak intertwined, making her feel lost and alone. She couldn't understand how someone she loved could betray her trust in such a hurtful way. The sound of joyous laughter from the party echoed faintly in the distance, mocking her despair. It reminded her of what she had hoped could be a perfect evening filled with love and celebration. Instead, she felt like a shadow of herself, crushed by the weight of deceit. In that moment of pain, Kayla understood that she needed to escape. Returning to the anniversary party felt like the only way to surround herself with love and support from her family. Gathering whatever strength she had left, she wiped away her tears and resolved to go back, this time seeking comfort in the familiar embrace of people who truly cared about her. With a deep breath, Kayla wiped her tears and resolved to return to the anniversary party. The thought of being surrounded by her family, who had always been a source of love and support, gave her a flicker of hope amidst her heartache. She hopped back on her bike, the cool night air hitting her face and momentarily clearing her mind. As she rode, the rhythm of the pedals seemed to match the beat of her racing heart. Arriving at her grandparents' house once again, she could hear laughter and music spilling out into the yard. The festive atmosphere felt like a warm embrace waiting for her. Kayla pushed through the door, stepping into a world filled with joy and celebration. Her parents were dancing together, their smiles radiating happiness that reminded her why today was so special. As she moved deeper into the party, family members greeted her with open arms, showering her with love and warmth. Despite the turmoil swirling inside her, Kayla allowed herself to get caught up in the moment. She grabbed a drink from the table and joined in on conversations, laughing along with everyone even though part of her still ached. In that vibrant atmosphere, surrounded by people who cared about her, Kayla began to feel lighter. Each smile and shared story was like a balm for her wounded heart. For now, she would focus on celebrating love, not just for her parents, but also for the bonds that held them all together as a family. As the night wore on, Kayla found herself caught up in the festivities, the music pulsing with a lively beat that made it hard not to smile. To drown out the lingering sadness from the earlier events, she began to drink more than she usually would. With each sip of the bubbly drink, she felt a momentary escape from her heartache, allowing herself to focus on the joy surrounding her. Her family danced and laughed, filling the room with warmth and love, and Kayla tried her best to immerse herself in that happiness. As she clinked glasses with relatives and joined in on cheerful conversations, a sense of camaraderie washed over her. For a little while, her worries faded into the background as she reveled in the celebration of her parents' enduring love. Still, there was a voice in the back of her mind reminding her of her boyfriend's betrayal. To silence it, she reached for another drink, hoping to numb the ache. With every toast and laugh shared, she felt like she was masking her pain with joy. The alcohol made everything feel lighter and somewhat blurred the edges of reality. Yet deep down, she knew this wasn't a permanent fix. Kayla reminded herself that tonight was about celebrating her parents' milestone, and she wanted to honor that love in any way she could. Despite the chaos in her heart, she resolved to embrace this moment, cherishing the people around her who brought comfort and happiness back into her life. The morning sun streamed through Kayla's window, piercing through the remnants of the night's festivities. As she slowly sat up, a pounding headache greeted her, a stark reminder of her overindulgence. She squinted against the light, trying to piece together the events of the previous evening. The laughter and celebrations felt distant now, replaced by a heavy sense of clarity that loomed in her mind. Kayla pressed her palms against her temples, willing the pain to subside as she reflected on everything that had happened. The image of her boyfriend with another girl flashed in her memory, and a wave of hurt washed over her again. But alongside that pain was an undeniable realization. She had turned to her family for comfort and found moments of joy among them, despite the heartbreak. She thought about how important it was to nurture those relationships, especially in times of turmoil. Last night had shown her how love could manifest in many forms, and it wasn't limited to just romance. Her parents' enduring commitment and her family's support reminded her that she wasn't alone, even when faced with betrayal. With a deep breath, Kayla resolved to confront the reality of her situation. No more masking feelings or avoiding the truth. She needed to focus on herself, heal from this experience, and embrace the love surrounding her. As she stood up and prepared for the day ahead, she felt a glimmer of hope. It was time to take charge of her own happiness. With a renewed sense of strength, Kayla stood in front of the mirror, her reflection showing a woman ready to take control of her life. Gone were the days of second-guessing herself or allowing someone else to dictate her happiness. She took a deep breath, feeling empowered by her decision to confront her boyfriend about his betrayal. It was time to find closure and reclaim her self-worth. As she prepared for the conversation, Kayla thought about what she truly deserved in a relationship: honesty, respect, and loyalty. She couldn't allow herself to settle for anything less. The pain from last night still lingered, but it no longer consumed her. Instead, it fueled her determination to stand tall. She envisioned their talk, how she would express her feelings, the disappointment she felt, and how his actions shattered the trust they had built together. No more avoiding difficult conversations. She owed it to herself to be direct and honest about the hurt he caused. With each passing moment, her resolve grew stronger. Kayla knew she had support from her family, and that made all the difference. They reminded her that she was worthy of love and respect. She gathered her phone and took another deep breath before dialing his number, ready to face whatever came next. This was more than just a breakup. It was a step towards self-discovery and empowerment. No longer would she hide from the truth. Today marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life where she prioritized herself and embraced the love she truly deserved. As the sun streamed through the kitchen window, Kayla joined her parents for breakfast, the aroma of pancakes and fresh coffee filling the air. She felt a sense of calm wash over her, contrasting sharply with the turmoil of the previous day. Sitting at the table, surrounded by familiar laughter and warmth, she realized just how much love existed in her family. Her parents exchanged playful banter, their smiles reminding her of the strong bond they shared, a bond that had weathered many storms over the years. Kayla watched them with admiration, understanding that their love was not just a romantic ideal, but a commitment that enveloped her in every way. They had always been there for her, supportive and caring, even when she felt lost. As they enjoyed their meal together, Kayla reflected on her own experiences with love, how it could come from family, friends, and even oneself. She smiled softly as her mom playfully nudged her dad for leaving his plate empty too soon. It struck her that love took many forms. It was in their shared laughter, in the way they listened to each other's stories, and in the little gestures that made each day special. In that moment, Kayla felt grateful for the unwavering support of her family and understood that she was not alone in facing life's challenges. They would always be there for her as she navigated this new chapter in her life.